not denominations, and I understood there's a massive difference between being Catholic, being a Jehovah's Witness, being Christian, being a Mormon. There are great differences in that. So I do believe that I can hope that something would happen within the Catholic Church that would maybe reset themselves to where they bring themselves back to being a little bit closer with Jesus, as opposed to just being made up of a whole bunch of saints, and the whole sainthood thing is kind of a mystery to me of why that even came about, or why anyone within the church thought that that was necessary. But the more saints we have, or the more saints the Catholic Church creates, just creates more confusion for people. It leads more people off the path of Jesus. It makes people think that they have other routes that they can go, that maybe they're afraid of Jesus. Maybe they're afraid of God. Maybe they don't understand, just like I did. Maybe they have their minds too wrapped around the fear of God and his judgment rather than his love. Because I can tell you right now, his love and his mercy is immense, immeasurable. And that's what he wants to give you. He wants to forgive you. He wants to give you mercy. All you have to do is ask for it. Ask for it from your heart. Again, that goes back to the intention. If you say some empty words, Jesus Christ, come into my heart, please, that might not do anything. But if you are down on your hands and knees and you are praying to him, and it truly comes out of your heart, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, please enter my heart, I give my life, and you really mean it, I guarantee you will see a difference in your life. And when I say Jesus is real, I do not mean metaphorically, I don't mean symbolically, hypothetically, theoretically. I mean literally. He is literally real. And he is a real entity who wants to help you. When we say he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, we're not referring to all of the earthly and all of the earthly lords. He is the king of the entire universe. And without delving too much into other aspects of fringe science here, when God said, let us make our man in our image, he didn't say, let us only make man in our image. And like I mentioned before, there are billions of stars out there. And within those billions of stars, there are billions of planets. And within the galaxies, there are trillions of other planets. There are other beings on these planets. So when we say that Jesus is the King of all things, we are talking about the entire universe. In every single galaxy, he is the true authority in the entire universe. And in the end of my vision, or at the end of my experience, when I was coming back and I saw this Earth battle going on, I could also see, just right behind Earth, all of these other planets. They all had people on it. All of these stars had people on it. Those planets are very different than ours, because ours is one of the only ones that has free will. And that's what makes Earth so incredibly special within Jesus's eyes and within the entire kingdom of heaven's eyes. We are precious. We are a precious thing that God wants to protect, but he also wants to strengthen us, which is what spiritual warfare does, which is what prayer does. Without prayer, we are useless in spiritual warfare. Once we have prayer, we are invincible and we are unstoppable in spiritual warfare. And that's what Jesus wants for us.
I'm curious, when you came back from this experience, you spoke to your ex-girlfriend.
Right.
But what about the youth group and your family? How did you share with them?
I was never able to. I was never able to share with the youth group. And to be honest with you, now 20 years later, Facebook and Instagram is a thing. when we broke up, I kind of just broke up with that entire friend group, as typically relationships usually do, So I never really spoke to any of those people after this experience. Maybe a couple, hey, how you been kind of things, but it's not like, hey, how you been? Yeah, I've been good. I got to tell you about this experience with Jesus. It doesn't really roll off the tongue like that. So
Be a great conversation starter.
Yeah, it could be. It could be some coffee book conversation. I never really had an open opportunity to discuss in depth with any of those people that I knew back then. I did talk to one pastor who became a really good friend of mine because I did a photography session for him and his family. He had a new baby. My wife specializes in maternity and newborn photography. So we just kind of followed their family throughout the years. And I told him about this experience. And he said, man, this is really incredible. I've actually heard of people having experiences like this. And when he said that, I just felt vindication. I just felt like, I'm not crazy. Like, I can...
Michael, you're not crazy.
I'm not
I hear him every
crazy.
single day.
This actually does happen to people. Actually, right after we had the conversation between me and you yesterday, I was a little conflicted as far as, should I do this? Should I get on this platform and give my testimony? Because this is testimony that I held so closely to my heart for so many years. Was it right to come on this platform and just let it out and just let people know? I prayed and I asked Jesus for a sign. I said, Jesus, let me know that I'm making the right decision here. Give me some sort of confirmation that you want me to do this, that sharing my testimony is something that I should do. And I just kind of went about my day. I had a photo shoot at the beach. As I was getting back into my car, I only listened to pretty much 2 radio stations, which it kind of boggles my mind because I used to love, rock music and rap and like all the secular music. I used to really enjoy that. I was a music major myself, but now I just only listen to Christian music. I just can't. Christian music connects so deeply with me now because when Christian music talks about Jesus, it's like, hey, I know that guy. I met him. It has like such a connection with me now. So I just can't listen to really anything else. So I listen to either K-Love radio or this Moody radio, which delivers pretty much sermons and religious conversations all day. The moment I turn on the radio, the person on Moody Radio is interviewing a Muslim woman who was sharing her own testimony about her own supernatural experience that she had when she was a Muslim, and she had this prolific experience with Jesus and it completely transformed her life. The moment I heard that on the radio and I heard how much joy it was bringing, how much confirmation it was bringing to the radio host who was interviewing this girl. She was so excited to hear more about Jesus. Tell me about your experience with Jesus. Tell me how you felt. Tell me what he said to you. It was in that moment that I was like, all right, I hear you, Jesus. I hear you. There's a lot of positivity that's going to come out of this. And the next line that she said was, if you know the truth, it is your obligation to share the truth. You can't know the truth and not share it with anybody. And I thought to myself, wow, that's so deep yet so simple at the same time. I know the truth. I know that Jesus is real, and I need to share this with people. People have to know. People have to know that the Bible is not just this book of fairy tales and stories. This is a manifesto. This is God's love letter to us, welcoming us into his kingdom, giving us everything that we need, every single problem that we have on earth in our regular human lives has a solution. Every single solution to all of our earthly problems is inside the Bible. It's within Scripture. if you're going through a hard time in your life, or even if you're going through a great time in your life, and you want to confirm that there is reason, that there is purpose for what you're experiencing in life, open up the Bible. If the Bible is too hard for you to consume or digest, go on YouTube, and what I do sometimes is I will just put on a video that all it does is read scriptures. Just 2 hours of nothing but peaceful music and scripture. And I have learned so much through those scriptures. It's just incredible, the wealth of knowledge, the depth of understanding that is within the Bible. It is really, I think a relationship with Jesus is like a life hack. It will just make your entire life easier. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to go through bad situations or bad times. As a matter of fact, within the Bible, it says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for I know you are with me. The scripture does not say, as we calmly flew over the valley of death, I fear no evil. He walks with you through it. He doesn't just free you from it. He walks through it with you so you can learn, so you can build your strength, so he can coax that strength that is within you that you may not even know is there. You may feel like you are weak. Jesus knows your strength. And when he calls upon you, that is an opportunity for you to build that strength, to build that armor, to build that spiritual weapon, to fight the spiritual war that we are in right now.
Wow. Yeah, if you think about it, Jesus is the truth, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Now,
Powerful.
the truth, the same truth that sets you free will make you a little miserable first. That's the reality. Because after I had this experience, this truth is about to set me free, but it's making me miserable because I'm thinking of how mistaken I was before. It's making me miserable because I think of what a fool I was before. And I thought I was righteous. I thought I knew it all. But I just truly had no idea. And there is another scripture that says, he who exalts himself will be humbled. He who is humble will be exalted. So that left a lot of weight in my mind as well when I read that, because I was exalting myself. I totally felt like I was my own God. I'm, the master of my own domain. I'm in control. And I was humbled. I was humbled tremendously. Because the truth is, if Jesus wants you somewhere, he will snap his fingers and you will be there. I did not want to go to hell. I'll tell you that right now. I was not searching for Jesus. I was not searching for any sort of self-discovery within myself. I did not care to find Jesus. I didn't care to find God. I was not on that mission at all whatsoever. But he had different plans for me. He had a different calling for me. And he snapped his fingers, and I was in hell, very much humbled. Very, very much humbled. I knew at that moment that I was actually not in control. It was the opposite of control. He was directing me where he wanted me. He was showing me what he wanted to show me. I was having the experience that he wanted because he knew what this experience would do to me and my own spiritual pathway that I was walking. And I often think that, wow, this experience was just so incredible. I wonder if anybody else in the world has had it.
Bushido.
A lot of people are very, very angry
today about this clip. Oh my God. When asked if he vote for Gavin Newsom or JD Vance for president, Hassan said that he would vote third party. This proves Hassan doesn't care about any marginalized groups he pretends to support. All he cares about is taking money from them so he can buy more outfits for his stream. Why do you give this? What is this? Like, this is a tiny little water bottle. Okay, let's watch it.
We're disappointed in
Who do you
Gavin
vote for,
Newsom.
JD Vance or Gavin Newsom?
Well, I'd have to vote for Gavin Newsom.
Me
of
too.
course, 100%.
I wouldn't blink. What about you, Hassan?
I'd probably vote third party.
You would?
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, it doesn't even matter. Like, cause my policy on this is the same as like my refusal to endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The reason why I did not endorse Kamala Harris was because she did things that were not only unproductive but also unconscionable.
I gotta say it. I think Hassan's right. I do. I don't think that you should have the moral authority to tell someone that they're obligated to choose the lesser of two evils if they feel uncomfortable doing so. And I think that he has every right to make a basically be a conscientious objector to an election and choose not to vote for those lesser of two evils. I think the people that are angry at him are being unfair.
And I still stand on that. I still talk about it all the time because people constantly bring it up. They're like,
They
you
do.
didn't sufficiently like promote Kamala Harris.
But like, there's also like, this is the other truth, right? The two people, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, would probably still be alive right now if Kamala Harris was the president. This is undeniable, and I think that you should acknowledge that whenever you say, if you're going to be making a principled voting decision, there will be consequences for that, and in not choosing the lesser of two evils, sometimes you end up getting the greater of those two evils. Like and again, but am I wrong about this? You need long-term thinking. You do, but like, even if you like, having long-term thinking doesn't remove your accountability. Like, both things are true. You should say, yes, they died, that's bad, or whatever, but this is still where my principles are. I think that trying to, assume that nothing else bad happened is unfair. You can't put those deaths because of that. Okay, I'm gonna pull you up. How many people would be dead because of illegal migrants? I understand that. Do you think that they would still be alive right now if Kamala Harris was the president? I want you to think for yourself. I want you to come to a conclusion by using your own mind. I want you to think for yourself.
Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this really entertaining post, which is titled, Why Men Don't Want to Wife Up SLUTS. And guys, this article, or this post, comes from the platform Substack, and the writer of this is a guy named John Hawkins. And this guy has, what I quick looked over, a pretty sizable following. And this whole post he does really addresses the obvious reason why men don't want to get involved with gals who, have quite the history, quite the number, go through hose phases and all that. And initially it starts off because he's responding to another post from another Substack account where a gal kind of talks about that whole thing. And it's really interesting here. And also he knows different women who don't quite get these things as well. And I like going over things like this where articles come about where other guys see how I see things, how you guys see things and all that, and it gives a dose of reality. And this whole thing he does here, what he goes over, definitely is not something that your average modern, empowered gal, stunning and brave, all that, is going to like too much. So, of course, I have to cover it because it's pretty darn good. And I think at the end, you'll appreciate it. But before I get into this article, I have to cover the idiot of the day. And this gal here, she is obviously recently divorced, as you're going to see, and she's sounding off about her ex-husband. He's no good, and he was giving her some serious truth that she doesn't like too much, and of course is ranting and raving. And it's a classic example of the mad ex-wife who puts all the blame on the guy. The guys are all worthless and everything, and never any accountability for her, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Check this out.
After leaving my kid's dad and divorcing him, a few days ago he told me that I'm going to start losing value as I age and that men are going to just go after younger women.
Yeah?
Disgusting. And that men are more established and financially stable, and that just really pissed me off because most women, especially when they divorce or they leave their kid's father, the only reason that they're not as established is because they were left catering to the household and putting everybody else before them. And so I just want to say, if you're a man with this mentality, fuck you.
Language, kitten. Language. So do you really expect us all to believe that your ex was 100% the bad guy, never did anything right, and you were absolutely 100% perfect all the time? That's nonsense. And yet this is the BS that goes out there. It's always anytime you talk about an ex to an angry girlfriend, former girlfriend, ex-wife, it's always the same thing. He never does anything, and everything worked because of them, and he's the villain and did all these things and blah blah blah. Right here, no different. So anyhow, there you go. No wonder guys aren't getting married and avoiding relationships like the plague. This is what you get. But anyhow, on to the main event here. And again, that title was Why Men Don't Want to Wipe Up SLUTS. He says here, yesterday I came across an entertaining Substack post from a woman that I'd never read before. It basically said she was a SLUT who slept with a guy that she really liked and who really seemed to like her. She generally seemed puzzled as to why that man slept with her, but still saw her as nothing but a short-term fling. It was an interesting question, so it seemed worth going into in detail. But first, here's an excerpt from her piece. Okay, like he said, this woman wrote this thing and she went out with this guy, and I read her thing, by the way, and she admitted to him that she's a kind of an SLUT, and she's puzzled because he doesn't want to date her. Now here's, like he said, an excerpt of what she says. She says from her post, the date was lovely. He shared that he's looking for a relationship, and I shared I try to date without expectations, but that I'd be ready for something long-term if the right person came along. We talked about self-growth and religion and politics and my job, and what my job would look like if I was in a relationship. After 2 glasses of wine, he invited me to see his rooftop and later his apartment. Eventually we were kissing on his couch. He said to me, "Just so you know, I didn't expect this," he told me nervously. "Oh," I said. I pulled back, unsure what he meant. "We definitely don't have to keep going. We could stop," he said. I've been that person on the other side of an icky hookup where you don't feel comfortable and don't know how to get out of it. I would never want to put someone in that position. And I especially wouldn't want someone to feel like because I'm a SCX writer, I always expect SCX or something. Does that make sense? Anyway, I started stressing. "No," he laughed with ease and reassured me, "I want to." "Okay," I replied, "we don't have to go further, whatever you want." It turns out that SCX is what he wanted, as did I. He asked for my consent before grabbing a condom, and I double-checked that he was sure he wanted to before putting it on. And it was all well and kosher, and it felt great. I can't believe I broke my no SCX rule on the first date," he said as we cuddled naked. So he's the one with the rule, but not her. A long pause, some back scratches, deep breaths. My eyes began to flutter in and out of sleep. "Do you ever juggle multiple guys at once?" he asked as my eyes fled open. "No," I replied. "Honestly, I wish I could, but I tend to get wrapped up in one person." He couldn't believe how honest I was being. So she wanted to juggle lots of guys. Now we're getting to the good part. He seemed somewhat satisfied by my answer, but my mouth didn't feel like shutting up. "I'm a little SLUTTY," I said. "Is that something you're okay with?"
I think there are so many common stigmas about people with ADHD, like we're lazy, or just super disorganized, or it's a choice, we're chaotic, talk too much, just too much. And
for a hookup, but not for a relationship. Yeah, not a good thing to say. And by the way, he's hooking up with a girl to the first date. Ain't relationship material. "I think so," he responded. Looking back, I'm not sure if he was being honest. I woke up the next morning to a cheeky text from him. I was excited. I had some weird feelings about our post-coital conversation, but I was still interested in getting to know him. He was the boy who asked me out when my hair wasn't done, remember? We texted throughout the day, and I eventually asked if he wanted to get together next week. To be transparent, he said, I don't see us being a long-term fit. And that's what I'm looking for right now. Long-term fit, that effed me up, she says. I felt more bummed than I'd like to admit. Not even because of any feelings towards him, we really had just met, but because of feelings I was having towards myself. Would I always be the girl you break your no SCX in the first real date for, but not the girl who's a long-term fit? Would I always be someone you see tonight with, just not a future with? Why can't an SLT also be a wife, she asks. So that's her thing, and our guy's going to respond. But right there. This is what I tell you guys. First date, if she hooks up with you, okay, that's fun. Ain't girlfriend material. She openly admits she's that way. You behave that way, it's going to turn guys up. They'll hook up with you, but relationship-wise, because they're going to think she must do this with every guy. What the hell's her number? All that type of thing. Seriously. Now our guy continues his analysis here. He says here, as I noted, I hadn't run across this author before, and I was looking at her work more to write this piece. I know she writes a Substack called Railed, more like she be nailed, where she says, I care a lot about normalizing the experiences young women are going through today and alleviating the shame we feel around SCX. Railed is a place to celebrate the complicated world of being a sexual woman. It's a place to cry over crushes and laugh about sex, plan your wedding one day, and have your organs rearranged the next. That quip reminds me of a conversation I once had with another woman who was heavily involved with writing about sex. We were just acquaintances, but I said something like this to her. So, you're always complaining that you're single, but you literally run blowjob classes for other women. Don't you think those two things are related? She assured me they weren't, and I didn't know her well enough to push the subject, so I just let it go. This chick, she's acquainted with, does BJ classes, and she's complaining I was being single. I don't know about you guys, but maybe that's for a hookup. But beyond that relationship with the gal who teaches BJ classes, yeah, no thanks. Imagine introducing that to your mom or any of your friends. Oh, how'd you all meet? What do you do for a living? Oh, well, I teach BJ classes. So let's talk about this a bit. First of all, men are very different than women, but guys are also fairly simple creatures. Here are the fundamentals, ladies. Here he is, breaking it down. The ugly truth. If a man sees you as a potential match, is attracted to you, you feed him, seem to want to take care of him, you're a good mom, if you have kids, have good SCX with him, are nice. Guys are also fairly simple creatures. Here are the fundamentals, ladies. Now here he is, breaking it down.
Tell me a scary Appalachian mountain story. I'll go first. This one was sent to me by a follower who moved to the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is located in the Appalachian Mountains, when they were 12 years old. The house was around 60 years old. Her parents had done some renovations to it. They had turned the daylight basement into a master suite, so she got the original master bedroom upstairs. From the moment she moved in, she started seeing figures moving out of the corner of her eye, but whenever she'd look, nothing was ever there. She started having really weird dreams. Her closet door would open and close without any explanation in her bedroom, even though they had like that super thick shag carpet. So the doors were really hard to open and close, like you actually had to like use force. Like there was no chance that these doors were opening or closing due to a draft. So one day after she had done been living there for around a year, she was out exploring the woods behind the house. It was a very rural area, and I already know y'all are gonna give me hell for the way that I say rural in the comments, but I'm from Appalachia. What do you expect? So she knew there were no neighbors around, but as she was exploring in the woods, she came across this old abandoned cabin. She immediately got really bad anxiety about this and left. Well, that night she had vivid dreams that she was walking alone in the woods again, and she came across that same cabin. But in her dream, there was a light on in the cabin window, so she went inside. The second she walked through the door in her dream, the door behind her disappeared, leaving her trapped inside, so she was trying to escape. As she's trying to find an exit, she comes across a room that is just on fire. And in this room, there's an old lady surrounded by decaying bodies. This old lady pointed at her and accused her of starting the fire. This lady told her if she caught her, she was going to unalive her. The rest of the dream, she was just running around trying to find a way out until she finally found a window to climb out of. The second she escaped, she woke up, but when she woke up, she couldn't move her body at all. But she could hear footsteps around her bed, and someone sat next to her feet on her mattress. Not to get off topic, but I've had that happen to me so many times. Please tell me I'm not alone. So many nights in my life where I felt somebody sit down at the foot of my bed when I know good and well that nobody's there. There's been other times that I felt something crawling up my bed. I don't know. Anyway, she just kept trying to move and she was finally able to roll over and turn the light on. But next to her bed was this dark figure. She said it looked like she was staring directly into a black hole. It swallowed all the other darkness in the room. She could see that it had red, bloodshot eyes and it was just smiling at her. Ugh, that's so creepy. She started screaming like I think any of us would, and she woke everybody up in the house. She never saw that old lady from her dreams again or that black figure, but she said the paranormal activity in the house ramped up after that and lasted for years. She could feel hands grabbing her feet from under the furniture on a regular basis. Things would go missing and then reappear again in weird places. Door handles would jiggle at night. She said she had a few sleepovers, but all of her friends would refuse to come back over after a while because they all experienced things too. The day she moved out was the day that it finally stopped. This story's so creepy, especially telling it outside almost dark in the Appalachian Mountains. Let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. Yes, I do read the comments. I've had so much fun reading.
Mom, we need your help.
What happened?
We lost David.
I'm going in. Noobs.
Level up your... Thanks to the 1983 crash of the video game market.
Number 10 goes to Battletoads. Now,
no one is illegal on stolen land.
Shut the f up! Yo, I hate when they say that. No one's illegal on stolen land. Yo, shut the f up, bitch. Shut the f up. They wanna like erase the history of America and try to like rewrite it or some but still get the same benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so on one end she wants to say nobody's illegal on stolen land. But what she doesn't understand is that stole the land, made the land what it is today that allows your to accept a golden an award and have the benefit of making shitty music. Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? I saw this post, man, and it really disappointed me. So I'll play the video for you guys real quick.
Watching him play to his base that thinks that he cares about them, and it's actually people that he cares about. If you're talking about his core being, you know, a majority white middle class, what I don't understand is how in the fuck do you feel like you relate to a billionaire who has never known struggle his entire life? Watching him play to his...
So now this is very disappointing, and I'll tell you guys why. And I wrote a tweet about this. Wow, how disappointing to see this from Eminem. I had all of his albums growing up. To this day, he's still one of my top 5 rappers of all time. I remember when they tried to cancel him over Columbine when he defended Marilyn Manson. I remember when MTV dragged him and banned his content. I remember when the entire music industry tried to ruin his career. I remember when his wife and mother tried to publicly destroy him. I remember when he gave a f*** you to the industry by bringing Elton John on stage for a performance. He was facing allegations of being a homophobe back then. I remember black rappers being getting jealous that a white guy was better than them, and it took years to get his props. Here's a guy that fought censorship and political correctness his entire career. Now he's taking the side of the same faction that tried to destroy him in the late 90s and early 2000s. This is why celebs need to just stay out of politics and do what they do best, entertain. And, you know, it's very bad to see someone like Eminem take, you know, and support someone like a Kamala Harris, right, or Biden. People that are establishment shills that are all about, you know, being politically correct and censoring speech. When someone like him, his entire life, okay, has been censored. Someone said this clip is like 5 years old. It's irrelevant. He still holds the same views. He still hates Trump to this day, so it doesn't matter if the clip's 5 years old, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, you know, there's always that one smart ass. This clip is 5 years old. Shut the fuck up. He was literally just trying to support Kamala to get her in office. He endorsed Kamala Harris. So clearly his views haven't changed. If anything, and they're worse now. Okay? Holy, always get that one smart ass. Actually, this is like 2 years old, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, okay? It's OSS guy, too. Fuck. He holds the same views now, dummy. If not, it's even more radically left. He's hated Trump for a very long time. And the thing that pissed me off was he endorsed Kamala, openly endorsed Kamala Harris, by the way. And so did many other celebrities. And just so you guys know, this is like a thing in Hollywood where in Hollywood, they all support Democrats, basically. Like at the Grammys, some dumb railed on ICE for a while. Let me see if I can find it. Grammys 2036, Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish, and more speak out against ICE. Of course, all these they're gonna speak out against ICE because you guys gotta understand that when you're an entertainer, you default to Democrat and leftism automatically. Otherwise, you're not gonna be accepted in mainstream circles, okay? So it's more about preservation, career preservation, than your actual political views.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
Bruh, get the fuck, yo, I hate these niggas, man. Bro, these people say these things because they know that it's politically correct and their fans want to hear it. That's why they say this. None of these guys have any original takes whatsoever, dude, okay? Hollywood is fake. Guys, Hollywood is fake. Your favorite celebrity is a... Your favorite celebrity can't say what's really on their mind, okay? You guys get that, all right? They bend and fold to the woke mob. Even someone like Eminem, who has been a victim of cancellation and political correctness, is out here saying Trump and shit. When in reality, people like Trump have been way better to protect his First Amendment. Anyway, carrying on. Hollywood is just straight cuckoldry, bro, okay? Can't have their own opinions. They have to be super woke. And the other thing also that I want to say is, as a Latin artist, right, doing reggaeton and shit like that, degenerate music, by the way, they have to be even more anti-ICE. But let me tell y'all something about these Puerto Rican. They're all American citizens. Okay? They're American citizens and don't have to deal with ICE at all. Okay? They won't tell you that, though. Be like, Junta la gasolina, you know what I mean? Puerto Rico, Boricua, you know, with their flag and get the fuck out of here. We own y'all, niggas. Out a bunch of Puerto Ricans losing their fucking minds when I was making fun of them. How much their coquito sucks. How much these buy in 2003 Hondas and soup them up. How the men's eyebrows are perfect. How the women always get pregnant before they're 20. You know what I mean? How their music sucks. How they abuse welfare. Got mad. I had a bunch of Puerto Ricans talking. Oh, talking. What? You talking about the Puerto Rican people? Don't be mad at me that you got your own country, nigga. Don't be mad at me. What the f? At least all the other Latinos can say that they're a sovereign nation. We own y'all, man. Shut up. Y'all got all these angry messages from these, bro, because I'm telling the truth that they don't got their own country. Like, what you wanted? What? You mad at the truth, bro? He's out here protesting ICE. ICE bad. ICE bad. Hey, but y'all are Americans. No such thing as a Puerto Rican passport. Shit don't exist. Y'all belong to us now. Cry all day, okay? Cry all day, bro. I'm probably gonna get a bunch of messages on Instagram right now from a bunch of angry Puerto Ricans. Oh, you won't say that to our face. Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. What are you gonna do? You gonna come down from the Bronx? Huh? What you gonna do? You gonna jump in your Honda, drive down from Kissimmee, Florida, down to Miami and find me? Get the out of here, man. The out of here, man. Oh, man. Got a mags that said Puerto Ricans are lazy. Got mags that said Mexicans work harder than them, which they do, by the way. Okay? I would never hire a Puerto Rican roofer over a Mexican one, bro. You know, Jorge's gonna work way harder than Juan Cotto. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? The Trevino's gonna work way harder than the Cotto nigga. They're too busy perfecting their eyebrows and shit like that so that they look better than their girlfriend. And that's what Puerto Rican niggas be doing, bro. Get all mad at me and shit. They're over here saying, no ice, no ice. Shut the fuck up. Y'all American citizens. Shut the fuck up, man. It's like Bad Bunny out here like, I'm out. Meanwhile, they has an American passport. Shut the fuck up, nigga.
Top artists aren't.
That's why I hate these, bro. They're such frauds, bro. They're such frauds. And the thing is that people don't even realize because they have like 20 IQ that Puerto Ricans are Americans, bro. Got no sovereignty at all.
Back on music's biggest night. Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish, and more winners at the 2026 Grammy Awards spoke out against immigration and customs enforcement amid heated backlash.
Hey, real. Let's go. And these are all ICE ERO guys. You guys can see our ERO and ICE enforcement removal operations.
Agencies ongoing operations in multiple U.S. cities. Bad Bunny earned a standing ovation for making his thoughts clear when accepting Best Música Urbana.
Of course, bro. These niggas always got to make like try to give like make a political statement or whatever. But half these entertainers are. Half these dudes don't even know what the Department of Homeland Security is or how it works. They don't even know the three branches of government. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these celebrities are and I realized this from being in like entertainment by being on YouTube and shit like that. Yo, a lot of these things are stupid for real, you know? And they're sitting here like trying to give their political takes or whatever, which I'm going to talk about that here in a second with Andrew Schultz, aka Andrew Schultz. Okay, I call him Andrew Schultz because he behaves in a lot of he has a lot of J behavior, if you know what I'm saying.
Album honors.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
Yeah, like that clearly his manager, make sure you say ice out. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say. Yo, these celebrities are real. I've met so many of them. They're okay? Most of these celebrities can't do anything outside of what they do for entertainment, okay? So like if you got like a music artist, all they could do is do music. They can't do nothing else, okay? You meet like a podcast or some other shit like that. Like these are outside of what they do, they have like no outside knowledge and they have very low critical thinking skills. That's another thing I've noticed about a lot of celebrities. They have very low critical thinking skills. A lot of them are bots, okay? And it makes sense because in order to do the things that they do and entertain the way that they entertain and have the takes that they can't have critical thinking skills, you know? They can't. So that's just what I've realized about a lot of these dudes is like they're so actually very disappointing.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are.
Shut the fuck up, nigga. See, that's what we are not aliens. Actually, you are. According to the Immigration Nationality Act, the INA, okay, people that come here that are foreigners that don't have any type of a citizenship are aliens, okay? It's in the law. It's the way it's written, all right? And I find it interesting how like a dude that's Puerto Rican who cosplays as a foreigner when he's really not. Puerto Ricans are full-fledged Americans. Don't let these niggas fool you, okay? These niggas are full-fledged Americans. Be trying to sit there with Boricua, Puerto Rican culture. Shut the fuck up. Y'all got no culture. You guys are Americans, bro. All right, you are Americans. Your little flag with the one star, yeah, that star is America, and y'all belong to us. The man is out here trying to act like they're patriots of their own country when they don't got no country. Out here, like this guy. Oh no, ice out. Shut up. You hold an American passport. You got a social security. Like what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? You're Puerto Rican. Shut up.
Americans.
Billy followed.
See, but this is like just like, you know, caving into the pressure, caving into like what the audience wants and shit like that. See, the reason why you guys are here is because I don't give a I say what it is, right? And that is so unique nowadays because so many influencers, so many entertainers, whatever, bro. Yo, I can't tell you guys how many times I'll go to like something, right? Like I'll be at an event, whatever, and there'll be like normie entertainers there or streamers. Yo, they see me. Oh, man. Oh, you know, niggas start getting nervous, bro. They start getting nervous, you know? Like, oh, this guy's here. You know, kind of funny to see their reactions, I'm gonna be honest.
With searing remarks of her own after winning Song of the Year for her hit Wildflower alongside brother.
And the other thing too, you guys gotta understand with these motherfuckers is like, they don't live in reality, right? So like, celebs are able to sit from like their Hollywood hills, from their mansion, and give their brain dead commentary because they're not amongst us, okay? Like, they're not amongst us. Like, a lot of these people, like, don't walk in public, right? Maybe grew up rich their entire life, whatever. Like, they don't know what it's like to be a regular person, okay? Or maybe they forgot because they've been rich and famous for so long, right? Actually, as a matter of fact, guys, that is a big reason why I still live a very minimalist lifestyle. I never want to become like one of these elitist. That is a very big reason. A lot of you ask me, Myron, why do you still adopt like a minimalist lifestyle? I do it because I don't want to be an elitist, okay? I do it so I don't like end up like these like brain dead that like don't understand how the world works anymore. You know what I mean? Or lose touch with the average person. So that's a big reason why I keep myself humble. Yeah, right? No matter how much money I make, you know what I mean? I'm just not gonna be like, I think I reject materialism. I truly do think materialism is like low IQ, instant gratification. You know, look, I know people, there's some people that have like things. Hey, I love cars, right? Oh, I like cars, blah, blah, blah. I want to get this one car, whatever. I can accept that, right? You grew up as a kid. I always want a Lamborghini. I always want a Corvette. Cool. Go ahead and get your fucking car, whatever, right? Your one prized item. But like excessive materialism is low IQ. It really is. It really is. And I've noticed like the people that tend to be the most materialistic have like no personality. They're like not interesting people, okay? And that's a big reason why I'm not a fan of materialism and I reject it. You just live a simpler life, bro, when you reject materialism.
Phineas.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Shut the fuck up! Yo, I hate when they say that shit. Yo, I hate when they say that. It's like the normie, progressive, left-wing, brain-dead comment. No, it's illegal on stolen land. Yo, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, okay? And these white from the England didn't come over here and shoot these Indians, okay? Still be running around, you know what I mean? Hunting bison. Like, what the fuck you talking about, bitch? Bro, I hate when they say this. Like, no, it's illegal on stolen land. Shut the f up. Oh my God, it's like the Hollywood. Yo, it's like from Hollywood. They get like 10 lines to say. Ice out. No one's illegal on stolen land. No one's an alien. Shut the f up, man. Shut the f up. Shout out to John Wayne, right? All these other, you know, out of a running coyote. Right? Still crying about the wounded knee. What is that? What's that thing? Hold on, bro. Lost their mind. Wounded, was it the wounded knee? It was like Pete Hegseth like gave them back their medals or some shit like that. Yeah, wounded knee massacre, right? September 2025, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that the 20 medals of honor awarded to soldiers for the 1890 Wounded Knee Massacre will not be rescinded. Hegseth, citing a review panel, stated the soldiers' place in history is settled, sparking backlash from Native American leaders who call it an act of violence, right? So, like, you know, it's like they want to like erase the history of America and try to like rewrite it or some shit. But still get the same benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so on one end she wants to say nobody's illegal on stolen land, right? What she doesn't understand is that stole the land, made the land what it is today, that allows her to accept a golden award and have the benefit of making shitty music, okay? Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here, right? Like, this stolen land that you're complaining about was stolen by that built up the country to allow you to sit there holding the award with high definition cameras on a stage. So you're go into a recording studio, also made by men, by the way, to make your shitty music about how you're so oppressed, and then you go back to your big Hollywood, where you're oppressed, put on your probably $10,000 outfit that you got on right now, come on, and then be like, no one's illegal on stolen land. Get the out of here, bro. Get the out of here, man. Yo, oh my God, yo. Fatality. Yo, I hate these, bro. I hate these. Like, what? You want to, you wanted to stay Cherokee land? You want to be a Navajo? No, you're a oh, get the fuck out of here. Come on, coach. Come on, coach. Like, what the is going on? Hey, if it's really stolen land so bad, go live with the Native American. live on a fucking Indian reservation. Let's see how that turns out, okay? You're gonna last 5 minutes. I don't know, Blackfoot, they're gonna be walking up to you with a fucking bottle of whiskey, trying to slam that shit over your head, because that nigga got hundreds of thousands of dollars in his fucking bank account. He hasn't worked a day in his life, by the way, because the government pays that to just be Native American. It's gonna stink, crime all over the place. You guys ever been on an Indian reservation? Oh, Lord. Yo, you guys want to talk about degeneracy, stupidity, and low IQ? Go to an Indian reservation. No wonder we took over this country so quickly. Think that bows and arrows and shit. John Wayne and the White. Get out of here, man. We took that nigga over with muskets and rum, nigga. What are you talking about? The Native Americans got beat by virus, rum, and guns, bruh. That's real talk, man. We didn't have to even really steal it like that. Come on, man. Oh, late. This talking about no, it's illegal on stolen land. All right, but go to a Native American reservation. Let's see how long you last, huh? Between the fact that these are gonna try to do some weird shit to you, okay? And they're all alcoholics, right? You're not gonna have a good time because a lot of these dudes on these reservations get a big check from the American government. They live for free. What do they do with that money? Just buy a bunch of booze and just chill, bro. Just pocket the money and drink all day, man. Stolen land? The fuck out of here, bro. Yo, these progressives are so lame, dude.
Yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now, and I feel really.
It's so hard. It's so hard to formulate a sentence when there's no lyrics in front of me and a beat going.
Really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and I say sorry.
Oh yeah, woo, yeah, fuck ICE, yeah. Yo.
The A-listers weren't alone in voicing their out.
Well, we already know. I mean, chat, a girl got that many tattoos? I think we know what the reality is with that one with these 304s.
Rage. Other attendees made a statement with ICE out pins on the red carpet and during the show, with Justin and Hailey Bieber, Bon Iver, Joni Mitchell, Carole King, and more, all sporting the accessory. Best New Artist Olivia Dean also.
Yeah, and you know, like I said before, like these people have the privilege of having shitty political takes like that because they don't live in number one, they don't understand how the world works. Number two, they're told to do that. And then number three, they have to take the progressive left-wing position because otherwise they're going to be ostracized out of Hollywood, okay? That's why. Also, we know who runs Hollywood. And we know who runs progressivism. All right? Black History Month, Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. Who wrote that shit? Okay? NAACP. This is the forgotten history that I don't want you to know, bro. They don't want you to know none of that, do they? Huh? I'll talk more about that on OSS. I'm not gonna talk about it here, okay? I'm not gonna talk about it here. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Black history and MLK and all that on OSS. All right? Happy Black History Month, Nick. All right? My favorite month, by the way. A lot of are probably new here, like, what the fuck? This guy, this is crazy. I'm listening to this at work and I gotta lower the volume. Welcome to the debrief, Nick. The realest streamer on this, okay? Realest on this. I'm the opposite of Hassan. Hassan's like, oh, I'm progressive. I'm a radical social, right? I'm the evil one. I'm like Waluigi. We don't say Zionist over here, okay? We say, all right? We call it what it is, all right? We make fun of the Kool-Aid consumers. We make fun of the. Thank you. Come again. We make fun of them Chinese, aka slant eyes gods. Slant eyed. Okay. We definitely make fun of because we know they're. Right. So we don't give a fuck over here. We say what it is. Realest streamer on this. We go where Osmond Gold will never go, okay? We go further and beyond. All right, we go all the way. We call it like it is. Over 9,000! So welcome to the debrief, Nick.
also touched upon the topic on stage with a personal anecdote.
I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here.
Here we go. We got some British bitch about to fucking give us a whole lecture. Here we go. Y'all ready? We got some British bitch about to say some shit. See.
Yeah, I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
Bro, you're British. What are you talking about? Y'all colonized the entire world. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Denied.
What should the consequence be if you enter the country illegally?
I don't know. A fine? I don't care.
He had no compassion, so why would we have compassion for him?
Why would we have compassion for Charlie Kirk? Why are you against ICE?
They're running around like fascists, just doing what they want, like straight breaking crimes. But oh, they're getting rid of violent immigrants, which they just aren't doing.
I want you to tell me the number of that's being committed in fraud that we found just so far.
Fraud? I don't care. I don't care.
What is this? Did you do your thing on here?
I did do my thing on here.
What did you write?
I wrote it really small right here.
F ICE?
Yeah, F-ICE.
Why do you say that?
Because, oh my goodness, it's on the spot.
Okay,
because they killed that guy, you know, that defenseless man. That's very sad. That's very unfortunate.
Very sad. I hate that it happened, right? It's a complete tragedy when someone dies, right? Especially in that way. It's brutal to see and no one wants to see it. And it sucks that it was televised for everyone to see. Kind of like Charlie Kirk was also killed on a college campus and
I agree. Israel did it. I agree. No,
I'm sorry?
Israel did it. I have a question. Israel too. I have a question.
Don't hold on. I'm talking to her real quick.
Why did he say that could happen if people got guns? Like he knew that was going to happen, and he was for guns.
Who are you talking about? You said he. What about Charlie?
He said that deaths because of guns was okay. Yeah. Right? He had no compassion. So why would we have compassion for him?
Why would we have compassion for Charlie Kirk? Because he was publicly assassinated. Hold on, you asked me a question. Because he was publicly assassinated in front of a bunch of college students for just sitting there with a microphone, opening dialogue to people who wanted to talk to him. That's why we should have compassion.
I think we agree on that. I think we're all capable of speaking, and protesters, that's what we're doing. Because families are getting torn apart. Yeah? So that's what we're speaking.
Just like Charlie Kirk's family, who is now suffering because he was taken from them and publicly assassinated. So why did you say, okay, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop him from doing it. He's done doing it. But you said we shouldn't have compassion for him?
I think we should have compassion for violence. And I think that's literally what you're doing. Violence. You're inciting violence.
How so?
That's what you are. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm over here.
Right, but look at that.
I'm over here.
You're inciting it. You're inciting violence. That was what you're doing.
I'm just talking to you. How is this violence?
You're coming here attacking and asking us to have compassion about Charlie Kirk when this is not about Charlie Kirk. This is about the immigrants that they're killing here.
Yeah, to be fair, you started talking about not having compassion for Charlie Kirk. You said that. I didn't even care to dive into that conversation.
Compassion for what's going on?
I do.
Okay. So
I also have compassion when there are women and children being murdered and raped by illegal aliens in this country. When we sit here and we talk about F-ICE, abolish ICE, I think it's very dangerous rhetoric to sit here and advocate for that when they get people off the streets like this. All of these people right here, rapists and pedophiles.
What about Liam? Was he a pedophile? That 5-year-old was a pedophile?
No, I did not say that.
Okay, so why are we not speaking about him then?
Yeah, if you want to speak about him, you can. But I'm talking about the people who were killed and raped
raped and committed against with acts of violence by these illegal aliens.
To talk about that, this is a protest with ICE, not the people that were murdered. We're here to be conscious about ICE and the families that are being turned apart. Do you think there's any area in this conversation for the victims of illegal immigrants?
Of course, but this is not the conversation that we're having right now.
Okay. That 5-year-old boy was abandoned by his father.
That 5-year-old was taken apart by an ICE agent in the fucking cold. He was left abandoned without his family. 5 years old.
Where did his family go?
Didn't you say you were against that?
Where did his family go?
Why are you all of a sudden defending that?
Where did his family go?
To a detention center.
When you saw that picture of him standing there, that little 5-year-old boy, he got into the custody of ICE because his father abandoned him and his mother and the rest of his family would not open the door to take him.
Because that's tearing apart families. Do you think that's okay?
Are you at all open to the idea that you might be wrong about what happened?
I'm not wrong about what's happening with that. I'm very conscious. That's why I'm here.
Why do you say guys?
Because you're taking all the families away that, like, if it was your family that was in your position, then you would be in the same, like, rooting for the same team.
Yeah, I would imagine it's pretty traumatizing to have someone in your family.
Were your parents taken away from here? Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Were your parents taken away from here? Like, even if you were born here, right?
I was born here.
Okay. But what if my parents came over and I was born here and you just illegally took my parents?
Yeah, if your parents came over illegally?
I was born here, though.
Were your parents illegal?
No, but I have friends who have lost their parents, and I know you would be, like, really sad if you lost your parents.
Yeah. But the thing is, we have to maintain our immigration laws, right?
Yes, but you could like get funding for efforts to that instead of taking away people that are already here, that have already started a foundation in this country.
Yeah.
This country is already illegal. You did not obtain it legally.
We didn't obtain the country legally?
Like the United States, yes.
I'm sorry?
The United States.
Was not obtained legally?
Yes.
Okay, how so?
Welcome to the next generation of website creation, Wix Harmony. Get the power of AI and the freedom of drag and drop to turn your words into a website with purpose and a brand that's entirely yours to shape. Work alongside Aria, your personal AI agent. Ask for anything from pages to sections, and there it is. Then flow naturally between instant generation and pixel-level control. Or just grab what you need and drop it into place. Your canvas adapts to your every action, so you never break focus. Turn prompts into unique visuals. Tweak them instantly. Expand. Push it further. And let it set your all vibe. Align your voice with the style you're going for. And craft a brand identity that's all yours. Generate advanced interactive elements to bring the world into your site and your business into the world, all on secure infrastructure, ready to scale as your business grows. A platform that's AI-driven, and you call the shots. Wix Harmony.
At Sophia Learning, we believe in making education more accessible and affordable for everyone. That's why we offer online college-level courses that are transfer-friendly. We know students are real people with real challenges, but Sophia can be a real solution. Sign up today and fast-track your degree.
We're doing a segment on their protest as a bystander. What do you think?
Guys, I don't like them. They kidnap people.
Who are they kidnapping?
Immigrants, brown people, anybody they don't like, and shooting them in the face too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. So what you've seen online is that you've come to the conclusion that they're literally kidnapping people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
do kidnappers usually take people and then send them back home?
They're not going home. They're going to places they've never been to sometimes.
Some of them are if their home country won't take them, but just answer my question. Do kidnappers usually take people home?
Well, they're not taking them home, so yeah, they're kidnapping them, and they're not getting any due process either, so it's kidnapping.
What is the due process that they aren't getting?
They're not seeing courtrooms. They're not seeing lawyers. They're being prevented from seeing them.
How do you know
I
that?
think that's wrong. There's a lot of reporting online. There's videos. There's a lot of evidence. So, I mean, I see people shooting other people in the face and putting people in the vans, and I don't think it's right. So.
Okay. What should the consequence be if you enter the country illegally?
I don't know. A fine. I don't care.
You should just be fined.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it should be a week-long, month-long process, not a years-long process.
Okay, so we should have all the resources available that if someone comes in the country illegally, we make them an American citizen in 1 week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be as simple as, hey, are you a criminal? No? Come on in. I mean, there are Americans that are criminals, and...
So when they come from countries that are specifically like third world countries, or countries that have vastly different laws than us, so some countries think that child marriage is okay, raping your wife is okay, they think that being a terrorist is actually part of their religion. When those people are coming in, when their government allows those things, how can we vet them to know they aren't here to hurt people?
I mean...
in a week, especially in a week. How do we do that in a week?
People come in for all sorts of reasons. I'm not here to say who's coming in for what reason, but those people that are coming from third world countries are fleeing from all sorts of persecution. And even if they aren't, who am I to say? As soon as we start judging people by, like, why they may or may not be coming here, I don't feel like that's our place.
We should definitely judge people based on why they're coming to the United States. If they're coming to commit fraud and in a brazen scheme and taking billions of tax dollars from us, we can judge that. Who's not doing that?
Immigrants aren't taking billions.
Yeah, Somalian immigrants are doing it in Minneapolis.
I don't think so.
So you think that's false?
Yeah.
I think your makeup is super cool. I really like it. Would you say you're kind of like goth and what alternative? Okay, very cool. Why are you against ICE?
Because they're running around like fascists, just doing what they want, like straight breaking crimes. But they're getting rid of violent immigrants, which they just aren't doing.
They aren't doing that?
Some are getting rid of violent immigrants.
I have some of the violent immigrants that they've gotten rid of. And these are just why are you against ICE?
Because they're running around like fascists, just doing what they want, like straight breaking crimes. But they're getting rid of violent immigrants, which they just aren't doing.
They aren't doing that?
Some are getting rid of violent immigrants.
I have some of the violent immigrants that they've gotten rid of. And these are just a few, actually.
But the overwhelming majority aren't. Most of them are just hardworking, not citizens.
Who's not doing that?
Immigrants aren't taking billions.
Yeah, Somalian immigrants are doing it in Minneapolis.
I don't think so.
So you think that's false?
Yeah.
I think your makeup is super cool. I really like it. Would you say you're kind of like goth and what alternative? Okay, very cool. Why are you against ICE?
Because they're running around like fascists, just doing what they want, like straight breaking crimes, but oh, they're getting rid of violent immigrants, which they just aren't doing.
They aren't doing that?
Some are getting rid of violent immigrants.
I have some of the violent immigrants that they've gotten rid of. And these are just a few, actually.
But the overwhelming majority aren't.
Way too familiar.
Most of them are just hardworking, not citizens, hardworking people in this country benefiting the economy and...
Yeah, benefiting the economy. How are they benefiting the economy?
They're working, they're buying things, they're supporting businesses.
Yeah.
Moving around money.
Yeah, but how much money? How much money does an illegal immigrant, how much money do they contribute that community annually?
Maybe I should have.
I don't know numbers.
You don't know numbers?
I just know my parents are immigrants and they came to this country and have helped stimulate the economy.
It's about $38 billion that they contribute to the economy. Do you know how much they cost the taxpayer?
No.
It's about $150 billion, up to upwards of $300 billion annually.
How are they costing all of this? How are they doing that?
Yeah, so healthcare, specifically hospitals, education, when they're in schools, taxpayers are paying for their education. Housing is a big one. And then when they don't pay taxes, they don't... I'm sorry?
Are you saying that the government is paying for the housing?
Yes. That's happening in California and New York. This has been uncovered by Savannah Hernandez. She's an investigative journalist. Everybody should go check out her work. But absolutely, yes, that is happening. They are putting them in hotels. They aren't deporting them. They are giving them health care, especially in California. They cost the taxpayer $150 to $300 billion a year.
You mentioned it was California and New York. These are...
I'm talking about specifically.
Yeah, these are more democratic and left-leaning states. I'm assuming it's because they have policies in place to help these people.
What about it is false to you?
I don't have any sort of prejudice against Somali people more than I do any other people. And to be clear, there are people that do fraud here and are...
And should they be held accountable?
Definitely, absolutely.
But you don't think that the scheme that was...
Not on the basis of race or ethnicity or...
So they aren't doing it because they're Somali. They're doing it and they're Somali, and that has become an issue in the Somali community. Billions of dollars, and you just think that's fake.
It's not billions.
How much is it?
I don't know, and you don't either. So.
Well, you tell me, because it's up to $8 billion. I want you to tell me the number of that's being committed in fraud that we found just so
frankly, fraud, I don't care. I think there's people being kidnapped on the streets and being shot in the face, and I think that's wrong. That's all I'm here for. I don't judge people on the basis of race or their legal status in this country. I think.
But you judge ICE agents.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You judge people by their jobs.
Yeah. If your
job is a fraudster and you're a Somalian in Minnesota, you put race above their job. But for an ICE agent, you sit there and you want to falsely claim that they are kidnapping people. We both know they're not, but rhetoric like that gets people hurt. You still give me no proof for that. Who are they kidnapping?
What's your proof for $8 billion? I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, Nick Shirley had to testify in court under oath about the fraud that he has uncovered as an investigative journalist. 40-something people have already been arrested because of that and charged.
Wow.
So this is something you can't deny. Where is your proof that they are kidnapping people?
I mean, look at the videos. Even if they aren't kidnapping people, they definitely are shooting them. And I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of families that have been torn apart by this. And it makes me sick to my stomach seeing it happen. So.
Okay. Do you also?
What's your name, by the way?
My name's Caitlin. What's your name?
Oh, I won't say.
Why not?
Because I know this is going to be shown online, and I've got all sorts of friends. So.
You've got all sorts of friends?
Yeah, and family, and they matter to me, and I don't want my name online if it's going to be taken out of context or anything.
All right. Have a good day.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. It's so weird. I watched so many of your videos in the past, and here you are, in person. Yeah.
I am, in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
I am very sad that those young women lost their lives, but the way that I see it, their loss of life as well as Renee Good and others who have been killed with ICE, it's kind of on the same par. I care about people's humanity, people's safety, so I think we're all out here just generally against violence. And
Would you agree with what they're asking for to abolish ICE?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you
Yes.
would. Okay, my question is, what is the solution then? If we were to abolish ICE, who would carry out the deportations and who would do immigration enforcement?
Yeah, of course. So I think the entire idea of like abolishing an institution is that we can rebuild from the bottom, right?
So
I don't
more
believe that-
reform?
No, we want to abolish and then maybe a new institution to take place over what ICE does in our society. Because it is important that we protect our people who live here from whether or not they're immigrant criminals or criminals in general. But as an institution, I think we seriously do need to abolish it and then rebuild from the bottom.
Okay.
So,
what is your prescription for rebuilding? What are some things you would like to see if it were to be rebuilt?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really just a college senior. I am not so well endowed in like political science or how to run a government, but I just like to keep the imagination open and seeking for the future and having hope that we can live in a country and not be afraid of dying, whether you're one of these women or whether you're an American citizen that was harmed by the police or ICE.
So here's the thing, when you advocate and you want to see ICE to be abolished, but you really have no prescription about what to do afterwards.
Yeah.
So these women were killed by illegal aliens who were caught and then released back into the interior of the United States. They had no prior history, some of them did, but they were caught and they could have been deported right then and there, but they weren't because ICE was told not to do that under the Joe Biden administration. My thing is, when you want to abolish it and don't let them do their job according to the law, this is what you get.
Yeah.
This is what you get. And it's a lot more than, well, we would love to see it abolished and then we'll think about, how to rebuild it. We don't have that privilege. Those women didn't have that privilege to say, oh, well, we'll see what happens after.
Yeah.
They were killed by people who got caught and could have been deported had ICE been allowed to do their job. So I think it's important that when we ask, and how privileged is it for people to stand here and say abolish ICE? Well, that's coming from a place of privilege. Those women do not have that privilege to come out here anymore and even talk to their friends or breathe, anything like that. And so I think it's important what we advocate for because these are the victims of that.
I don't really have more to say. I don't think we're gonna agree. Of course, it was. Thank you for. You have a good day.
Friends, what do you think about their protests? Are you joining?
This is a great protest. Let's go.
I'm an immigrant myself from Cuba. I came here in 2010, and I'm with these people. Immigrants should be welcome here.
Yeah, do you think immigrants aren't welcome, or do you think it's that the administration wants to go after illegal immigrants?
I think, it's illegal. No, I'm legal, but I think they're just trying to go after illegal immigrants, that some of them should be taken out, but I think they should do more research behind who they take out, because some people have been working here and they've started their own lives, and you can tell they should be U.S. citizens and not be getting kicked out.
Why shouldn't they be kicked out if they broke a law?
If they did break a law, then they should, but...
No, I mean, if they came into the country illegally, if they're working illegally. You can't work if you're an illegal citizen. They're not paying taxes because they don't have a social security number because they're working illegally. Should we have consequences for that?
Yeah, we definitely should.
Okay, what should the consequences be?
Start new laws and just try and get everything more together so that we can have a little bit more organization behind all of this.
So the laws already say you can't do that and you'll be deported if you do.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they apply the law and deport the people who are doing that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Why not? They've broken several of our immigration laws.
I don't know. You got me there on that one, though.
All right. Well, you think about that a little bit more, okay? So let me ask you this. If we were to abolish ICE, who would deport the criminals?
I believe there's things in place to take care of that.
Like what?
ICE is one of them. I can't name anything off the top of my head, but at the very least, have ICE be trained people and not have it be like this bill that's been trying to be passed of giving more money to ICE just use what they have. You know, the military gets so much money.
Yeah, ICE isn't part of the military.
I know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering your solution. What is the solution if we abolish ICE? That's what I'm looking for. What is your solution? How do we remove these people?
I'm not a politician, so I don't have an answer.
Okay.
But I do see the horrible things ICE is doing, and they should not be killing a protester for recording.
Yeah. I don't think they've killed anyone just for recording. I don't think anyone has been shot just because they were recording. And I think it's awful when anyone dies, especially in an altercation with federal law enforcement. Do you support the people that are in these ICE Watch programs that are going out there following federal officers, recording them, and trying to de-arrest people?
De-arrest?
Yeah, that's part of their handbook with ICE Watch is to de-arrest an illegal alien or someone who's being detained. They have a handbook of how to de-arrest somebody. So basically get them away from the officer and let them go free. Would you say that that's probably not a good idea, or you're like, yeah, that's okay?
Well, right now what's going on with ICE, if they're being incredibly violent, that they just don't need to. And sometimes just killing people, I do support that because they're saving lives.
Do you think the protesters who are fighting with law enforcement and de-arresting the people who are being detained, you think that's a good idea because they're saving people?
Fighting law enforcement, I feel like in most cases it's not right. But our Constitution does say we need to protect our rights. If they are trying to force their way into your home, search your property without a warrant.
Where is that happening?
Someone mentioned earlier that ICE is now, they could write their own warrants and be allowed to go into your house. They don't need a judge's signature. They could just...
That's an administrative warrant, and that has the ability to go and arrest illegal aliens. You need a judicial warrant to enter private places like someone's home. So that's not happening. They can't write their own warrants to be able to go into your home that has to have a judicial signature. They can write their own warrants to arrest people.
They were saying that like ICE management has been telling them you could write your own warrant.
Who is ICE management? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know exactly. It was just someone said it earlier.
Who said it?
I don't know.
Someone said it here?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps they're wrong.
Maybe
they're wrong. Maybe they're wrong.
I really liked how all the students were getting together and protesting for such a good cause. You know, the recent events of ICE, especially Minnesota, and the actions they've taken. It's just really unconstitutional. I'm glad people are coming together and speaking out about it.
What exactly is unconstitutional?
Well, typically, from what I know, I haven't researched well in depth. From what I know, use of force by police officers and like agents or law agents, I'd say, it's just like the level of force they're allowed to use. Like, maybe I should rehearse this. The level of force they're using, the deadly force they're using, is typically not supposed to be allowed. They're not supposed to be above the law, and police agents or police officers are trained, you know, like with the instance of Renee Good, not to step in front of a vehicle because that's self-caused jeopardy.
Do you think he kind of put himself in that position to be?
I believe from the videos that I've seen, the officer did put himself in front of the vehicle, causing harm or causing jeopardy to himself. So regardless of Renee Good's intentions, whether she was legitimately trying to run him over, he did put himself in front of the car, and that does not legitimize his use of deadly force.
Okay. Very interesting, very interesting. But where does it become, so under the whole like justified use of force, it's not about, you know, hindsight and looking at wheels were turned here, this was their intention. the use of force and deadly force and to protect an officer's life, they need to feel justified in using lethal force if they feel that their life or the lives of their fellow officers are in danger. When someone is being hit with a car, it typically comes back justified for them to use lethal force, especially when that same officer was just, dragged by a car a few months earlier and had to get like 36 stitches in his arm. So he's dealt it and he's done with that.
This print prints everything to get your brand in front of your fans, like t-shirts, water bottles, and totes, so everyone can gift it, work in it, and take it. Whether it's one of a kind or one for your whole team, if you need it, we print it with 20% off for new customers at vistaprint.com.
When you say it's unconstitutional, though, can you point to anything anywhere in the Constitution where you can say they're breaking this article, they're breaking this, or what exactly in the Constitution? Is it just the use of force that you're saying, or is all of ICE unconstitutional?
Well, I mean, we've had ICE since like 2001 for
2003.
2003?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think ICE itself is unconstitutional. I think, or maybe unconstitutional is not the right category, but I think, under Trump's current presidency, he's severely restricted the length of training.
Yeah.
He reduced the Spanish proficiency training from 5 weeks to nothing. And over it's like 47 days now, the training. And there's the background checks they're doing for agents from what I've seen. People have slipped in without, drug tests or even being, supporters of the current agenda.
Okay, so you have some problems maybe with how ICE agents are being hired.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any problems with ICE itself and their mission and what the agency is to do? Their purpose is to remove illegal aliens from the interior of the United States. Do you ultimately have a problem with that?
I understand the issue is with illegal immigrants who have come to this country, but there's lots of data showing their contribution to economy, and there's a lot of cherry picking with different events to try to make immigrants look bad, illegal or illegal.
I'm just looking for solutions. I don't think that it's a trend that ICE agents are going out there and shooting protesters. It's not a trend that's happening. I definitely think with Renee Good, that was an awful thing that happened. I wish she was still alive. But at the end of the day, I do think that was a justified shooting in self-defense. Alex Preddy, I think that's a little bit more messy. And I wish that hadn't happened. I wish that he didn't decide to fight law enforcement. I wish that the ICE agents had better communication when disarming him. We don't know exactly what happened yet. But what I do know is that despite these incidents, ICE is still doing a good job, and I support them being there, and I fully support their mission in Minneapolis.
You do know the stats that they're arresting and deporting mostly innocent people with no criminal record at all. They're just, yes, they have been here legally, but that's it.
I'm okay with that. I voted for that. Yeah. I voted for people to be deported for the simple act of crossing to the border illegally. I want those people deported. I do not want them in our country. You know why? Because the women over there on those signs, they were killed by people who were in this country illegally, who had deportation orders, and they were ignored by ICE under the Joe Biden administration. They would all still be alive if they had just deported someone for the simple crime, it is a misdemeanor federally, of being in the country illegally. They would all still be alive. I do support that.
I just want to point out, you said it's a misdemeanor.
Yes.
And people are getting violently tackled, treated horribly for a misdemeanor?
Yeah, so those people who are being treated horribly, they're usually being targeted by ICE for criminal actions and felonies and stuff like that. I'm talking about those women right there, real quick. Look at their faces. They were killed by illegal aliens who had deportation orders, but they were caught by ICE and released under the Joe Biden administration. They would still be alive if we just deported people Their only thing was committing the misdemeanor of crossing the border illegally. They are all worth it. Their lives were all worth deporting people who just crossed the border and did nothing else further. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I appreciate you listening. If you still disagree, that's okay, but I hope that you might think about that a little bit more, that we don't know who's coming in. We don't know who's coming in, and we're letting them in here. Sure, they haven't yet committed a felony or whatever, but when we don't know who they are in our system, they have broken our immigration law, we have to hold those people accountable, send them back and say, come in through the right way. Although, to be fair, I don't really support legal immigration either, but, you know, that's the whole thing.
You don't support legal immigration?
No. I think that we need to halt. We have way too many people here. We have brought in too many people. I think we need to halt it, take a look at what's going on with our country, deport massive amounts of people. Massive deportations need to happen, and then we can reevaluate who we're letting in and from what countries. Yeah.
Mary's part-time MBA program gave me the flexibility to manage my full-time job and my personal life. I really truly felt I was able to excel in my coursework, excel at work, and not let my personal life take a backseat.
There's this myth that addiction is just lack of willpower, but that's not how the brain works.
Opioid addiction affects millions of individuals and families, but recovery begins with one choice, and no one has to face it alone. QuickMD connects patients with a doctor online for opioid use disorder. Start medication-assisted treatment backed by science. No judgment, no stigma, and no insurance is required.
Healing doesn't stop with a setback. It doesn't mean you fail. It means you're human.
Take control and talk to a doctor today at quick.md.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thank you so much for listening to me and having a dialogue. I really, really appreciate your time. Anything else you wanna advocate for? Would be good.
I really appreciate how you know, you presented yourself and you weren't attacking or anything. You're presenting information. I think that's very nice.
Thank you.
You know, you're out here talking as opposed to, you know, doing all that. So
yeah, I appreciate
it's
that.
nice to talk.
It is nice to talk,
And
isn't it?
we may disagree.
Mhm.
I do feel, you know, yeah, entering illegally is bad, but I feel like there's a little more nuance, and like it's
more compassion for, like,
it's a whole system. It's not just like black or white.
Yeah.
You know, yes, people are coming in illegally, but it's why, and you know, should we be treating them harshly? Should we help them come in, you know, legally? It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, definitely see. It's hard to see like people being detained with their children.
Yeah.
It's very hard to see that.
Yeah.
But I don't blame ICE for that. I blame their parents who brought them here, knowing that they broke a crime and they brought their children and involved them in the crime. And I think it's actually really graceful and kind for ICE to keep them together and let the child be with them in a detention center or an immigration holding center instead of separating them. So it's the parents' fault. That parent put them in that position. These are the consequences of their actions, in my opinion. And it's I'm really grateful that the families can at least stay together and kids can be with their parents as they're going through there. Because it would be really awful if we were deporting parents and then keeping their children in the United States.
Yes. Well, I assume ICE would consider all of them legal. So.
The children,
Yes.
if they were born here, they are, yes. And so they don't have to be deported. They can stay, but then they'll be put in the system. And so ICE says, hey, we're going to just send you home. You're actually not being charged with anything. You're in the country illegally. We're just going to send you home with your family and your child. If you want to come back legally, you can. It doesn't even bar them from coming illegally the first time. The second time, it is a federal criminal charge. But I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. I love your birthday hat. Have fun with your little game. I hope I didn't interrupt it.
No, you're good.
What if there was a technology where humans could live like animals by pretending to be an animal?
Clarice, lay down your mind.
It's there, just hard to find. Follow me as we wind our way away. Behind an open door, there lies a million more. Follow me as we wind our way away. Time is coming soon, I'll find you. Time is coming soon, I'll find you. Time is coming soon. Time is coming soon. Behind an open door, there lies a million more. Follow me as we wind our way away. Time is coming soon, I'll find you. Time is coming soon. Time is coming soon. Time is coming soon. Time is coming soon. dust inside of you, or chemicals in the place you poo. In my arms or in your box, our love will be pure.
World's best cat litter for the world's best cat.
I'm recording. I know.
We're definitely gonna be late because it's 3:30 already.
The reason why, well, you know, the reason why I'm recording it is because to keep a record, and that's just, I will be writing this down, but I'm
right, that's the goal of me sharing this video. So let me just get into it. Right now it's 2021, so this happened when I was back in Canada. It was maybe 2012 thereabout that I had this dream, right? So this is what happened. So I was part of a youth group on campus back in Canada, and we had a really good just worship session, like praying and singing. The group was called United Through Worship. Amazing group, right? The music was always on point, the preaching. It was a place where young people could go and just encounter God. And this particular night I was there, and it was amazing. Everything was just right. And then thereafter, after it ended, I went home, right? Feeling good and all that good stuff. Went to my bed. And this is kind of hard for me to explain the first part of this experience. The first part is a little bit blurred. I can't recall everything specifically that happened in the first part of the dream, but the dream itself was, I know there was a part in the dream where I was on campus. I saw myself on campus, right? And then I also saw my mom when she was pregnant with me. So in this part of the dream, I'm not saying exactly that it's like when people say that your life is flashing before your eyes, but the experience was like I'm seeing things that I guess that I don't really understand or know about, like my mom pregnant, like I saw her with her belly, and like me being in her womb, she was pregnant with me. I'm seeing myself on campus and all these things, and the next thing I knew was I was in this place, this dark place, and it looked like the inside of a cave, right? It was pitch black, but I could see like a dark textured wall, like not vividly, but I could see maybe a little like pattern of like the inside of like a cave, maybe like a little bit, but the place was like dark. When I found myself in this place, what came to my mind, what I knew was that I was separated from God, and there was this intense feeling of hopelessness. And I have heard other people say it, and it's so true. It's like you know that you can't escape from this place. You're in this place where there's no hope. There's no longer any opportunity whatsoever to escape this place. And when I realized where I was, I started crying out for God. I was like, Jesus, you know, I was crying out for God. When I realized where I was like, no. I'm like, no, there's no way that I'm in this place. No, I'm crying out like crazy for Jesus. I'm crying out like crazy for God, because I'm like, there's no way I'm in this place. It's like my awareness was open. I realized where I was. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way. I'm bawling out to be rescued by the Lord. And guys, I'm telling you, I can't explain the feeling in a way that you can understand. That level of hopelessness, I've never felt that in my entire life. It's a feeling that you can't experience while you're alive. I was talking to my wife recently when I was thinking about doing making a video about this, and it's like something that we have now in this life while we're alive is not there. I guess I could say it's a presence of God. Like the way you feel now, you feel different in that place. There's something that's here right now when you're alive that doesn't exist in that realm, that place, wherever that place is. And it's the most horrible feeling of hopelessness. I that's the only word I could use. And when I cried out for God, in the distance, far out, I saw a little light, like a little speck of light in the far distance emerge in the midst of the darkness. And I started running toward that light with everything that was within me. And the closer I got to the light, it started getting bigger, right? So when I was right in front of the light, it was the shape of a door. Right? It was the shape of a door, but at the same time, I could not see anything through it. It was just like light. So the door, like this rectangular opening, but I could not see anything, just light, right? And I was running toward it because that's the way out. Then when I was right about to jump through the door, it started to close. Right? Started to close just like an elevator. You know when they're running for elevator and the door is coming in. And when I saw that the door was closing, I used my hand and just pushed it back into just where it's coming from. Right? Push it back in and just jump through the light. And when I jumped through the light, I jumped out of my bed. It's like when I jumped through the light, I came back into my body or whatever. And I jumped out of the bed and I started bawling like a baby. Bawling like a baby. I could not believe that I escaped that place. I started bawling like a baby, and I was on my knee. I was praying for like 2 hours. I was praying to God. I was bawling. I was repenting. I was like, I could not believe what I had just experienced. I could not believe what I had just experienced. And the sense I got was, you see, you're young. You know, you went to this worship gathering and all these things, and you came home and you could have died in your sleep, and where you would have gone would not be where the Lord is. I thought I was fine. I'm young. I'm healthy. Went home after this worship service, went to sleep. But my heart, I guess, wasn't right. I wasn't sold out for Christ. I wasn't ready for the kingdom. And it felt like I should have died that night, but I was given a second chance. I was saying to God, Lord, thank you so much for your mercy. Thank you so much for giving me a second chance. And this was about 9 years ago. There's another dream I want to share as well, since we're on it, because it's kind of short, but it's a very important dream as well. Because even since that time when the Lord gave me a second chance and I'm living, I've still not committed myself to 100%, meaning relinquishing my desires and my control of my life, and just surrendering to the Lord 100%. And the Lord keeps reminding me every now and again, if I'm veering off track, to get back on track. And you know that dream that I just shared is very important for us to understand that we need to assess our lives and make sure that we're living our lives in accordance to the will of God, the commands of God, not the way that you want to lead your life. Make sure that you live in the Sermon on the Mountain, everything, the Beatitudes, all these things, everything that the Lord has commanded you to do, make sure you're doing them. Going to church means nothing if your heart is not right. Singing songs and doing all these things means nothing if your heart is not right. Being young doesn't mean that you can't die. You can go to your bed and die, and that's it. And if your heart is not right, you will find yourself somewhere that you don't want to end up. I'm telling you, I do not wish that place on my worst enemy. It's a horrible place, and if you're watching this and you're alive, you have the chance to avoid going to that place. The hopelessness is the worst feeling ever. The state is not a state where people can abide or live in. It's not a state that the living can dwell. If that feeling was to be in this present life, I don't think any human could last more than a second with that feeling. So please don't find yourself in that place. Repent, seek the Lord, especially in this day and age. So the other dream I want to share is really brief, and this was a few months back, right? So this was this year, I believe it was this year. And so what happened was I went to sleep, fell asleep on my couch, and I found myself, I had a bike, right? So I was on a bike, like a bicycle, right? And I saw a guy in the distance, like this guy, not too far from where I was. He was riding, right? And for some reason I just saw this guy from the back, so I never saw his face or anything like that. I just saw a guy in the dream, and he's riding his bike, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, let me follow this guy. Just randomly, I'm like, okay, let me just follow this guy. That's how the dream started. I was just there on a bike, saw this guy on a bike, and he's riding somewhere, and I just decided, oh, let me just follow this guy. Started riding behind him. He's going. I turned. I'm behind him, and the whole time this guy's riding, he never looked back once. I never saw the side of his face, anything. I just saw like from behind. So I'm seeing him from behind. So I don't know how he looks or whatever. But he had this sort of like this mysteriousness about him. But he's just going, riding, taking a left. You know, I took a left, a right. I'm just following wherever he went. I'm just right behind him. Somewhere, you know, this force not riding, and then the guy's riding his bike, and then his bike just went over. He was riding, and I guess the earth kind of maybe just curved downward. So he's riding, so I'm behind him. So all I just saw that he just went down, and I'm riding behind him, and then I just went down as well. And the moment I went down, I found myself in a place, a split second, less than a second, a vast expanse of if you guys see when people are like heat up like metal when they're making a sword, and it's like a red hot or orange, that orange look on the metal when it's over, when you heat it like really, really hot, that's the color of the place. Like this vast expanse, I found myself it was just me in the midst of this vast expanse of that color, like I guess a fire furnace or whatever. Like I never saw flames, but I saw the colors. I was in the midst of this massive place, but it was so fast. There was nothing for me, my eyes, I just started to see anything. I just knew that when I went down, for a millisecond, not even 1 second, but a millisecond, I was shown this place where I was in the midst, and there was this vast expanse that looked like molten lava, the vast expanse of that color, and I was out of it like that. Went down a millisecond in the place, and then I found myself on the bed in the dream, still in my house. And the dream continued from there, but that's where I'll end it. And I think the Lord was reminding me at that time, because at that time I was getting closer to God. I was committing myself, right? And then I started to veer off track again. You know, when you're going and doing the things of God, going after God and doing the things of God, then you see the world and you're trying to like go back in that direction. You're vacillating between what the Lord wants and what you want. And I think the Lord gave me that dream as a reminder. That's why he showed me a millisecond, like, Ranzo, listen, get your act together. Don't you dare go back to the world. Don't you dare go back to this place, because this is where I want you. If you go back, this is where you're gonna find yourself. And that dream, guys, the person, that mysterious figure that I was riding behind, following, was the devil. And what I want you guys to understand is that, look, if you follow the ways of the devil, if you follow the ways of the world, if you follow the devil, you will end up where he's going. You will end up where he is going. If you follow Christ, however, you will go where Christ is. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know what made me follow this figure, this mysterious figure. I just saw him and I'm like, oh, I have a bike. He's riding his bike. I'm like, okay, let me just follow this person. And I'm just following him. And just everywhere he went, I just went. He's going into the forest, I went. And then he went down. Found myself in the midst of hell because I followed the devil. So I'm saying, listen, be careful, be careful, be careful. Do not follow the ways of the world or the devil, the enemy, because we will end up where he is going. If you want to be where Christ is, you have to follow the ways of Christ. If you follow Christ, you will end up where Christ is. So I just wanted to share this dream with you guys. Look, this is your opportunity to repent. You know, I understand when we watch these videos, you know, oftentimes we're convicted and, you know, we want to repent, or, you know, we think all these things, and sometimes we go back, you know, after we turn the computer off or whatever, we go back to just doing whatever. But I want you guys to take this seriously. View this as an opportunity to make sure that you get your life in order, to make sure you make things right with the Lord, to make sure that you accept the Lord Yeshua Mashiach, Jesus Christ, as your Lord and Savior, and obey his commands. Deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow him. Study the word, get to know more about him, and find out what his will for your life is, and walk it out while it's still day, while you still have time. Now is acceptable day of the Lord. Don't wait until it's too late. Remember, follow Christ, you'll be where he is. Don't follow the other one, the other person, the enemy. None of us want to go where he's going. None of us. And the feeling of separation from God is not something that was made for us humans. That feeling is a feeling that was never made for us. So I just really wanted to share this message with you guys. Forgive me, I'm sweating a bit because it's the light and it's kind of hot, but I just had to share this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be sharing more as the Lord lead me to share more, and as the Lord reveal different things to me. I share it with the hope that I can tell as many people as possible about Christ as I can. So that's the goal, right? To spread the gospel as far and wide as I possibly can. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have things to repent for, now is the time. If you're still alive and you're watching this, and you're still here watching this, please seek the Lord while he may be found. Yeshua Mashiach, Jesus Christ, he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one goeth to the Father but by him. He's the only way. Bye for now.
Pack your year with awe and awesome at SeaWorld. Experience the thrill of the deep at the all-new Shark Encounter. Then let the good times roll with bold flavors and live music at Mardi Gras. Tickets as low as $69.99. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying, okay? I picked up the car a few months ago, and watch this, ready? $97 premium, $20 were my fees, $118. Now, I covered up my private information, guys. $39, $118. Check this out, ready? $500 for comprehensive, $500 for collision, $500 for comprehensive, $500 for collision. Okay, the same make and model, Hyundai Ioniq. Okay, man, guys, it's the same policy, $118 to $39. As you can see, I have full coverage. I have a premium policy. I love my.
Hey, hello everyone who listens to this message. My name is Mark.
I'm here, but they'd never know where I was. They'd never know they were in life, and I was somewhere else. And I thought to myself, this is hell. I thought this is hell. And I thought to myself, you can understand, as I describe it, I was sort of freaking out. I was like panicking, but at the same time, it was almost like an acceptance as well. I'll get back to that. But, you know, I thought this is hell, and I thought I wouldn't wish this, and I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I thought I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy because I knew it was like you'd be here forever. It was completely lonely. It was unbelievable, ultra loneliness. Completely cut off from life, completely cut off from what we have when we our breath and our feelings and air and everything, and just life. And I felt that, and in my mind I thought I wouldn't wish this on Adolf Hitler, and I don't know why, because I've seen subsequently other people testify to these kind of things, and they always say, they'll often say you wouldn't wish it on Adolf Hitler. It's almost like, you know, the place itself was saying that no human should really be here. No human should be here. I'm there, you know. And what I want to say about it is that what I understood, this, I mean, I don't know how long I was really thinking and I was in this, but in the sense of, what I'm saying is, all this information could have almost come all at one time. It wasn't like linear. I just understood certain things. And what I understood as well was that
Military tech.
everything that I'd ever done, good or bad, had absolutely no value. All the experience that I'd accrued through trying to sort of become more spiritual, that meant absolutely nothing. It had no value. All the art that I'd done, all my drawing, all my music, all my songwriting, all the writing. I mean, I was a prolific songwriter. I'd written like hundreds and hundreds. It meant nothing. It had no value. It was like saying, these things have no value. These things do not make it good. These things do not get you out of that place. These things don't get you out of here. These things have not earned you anything out of this place. You know, you're in nothingness, and nothing you've done has kind of qualified you to get out of here. All the hard things I've been through. I mean, as a kid I used to get bullied, I went through long periods of depression, I struggled with certain things in my life, I've overcome something. It was like saying, means nothing, means nothing, means nothing. It's almost like, you know, maybe you'd been through the most heroic thing in a war and you saved lots of lives and you got a medal. It was like it's saying, means nothing, means nothing. Nothing that you've done means anything. And also, it was like, you know, a real sense that the whole direction of my life somehow had been in the wrong direction. It was just not for the right, I wasn't living for the right reasons. I wasn't very sure about what the right reasons were, but I had a feeling that being a good person or being a better person, I wasn't looking in the right places, you know. It was not just a case of like, you know, not doing enough good things. It was an entirely different outlook which I hadn't found, and as a result of that, I'm here, I'm in hell, and you know, I've missed the point, and everything that I'm experiencing, everything I've done, has got no meaning. All the work you've done towards, all that time you spent building that family home, all that time that you spent making it to the top of your career, all that time, all that trouble you went through, all the hardship you went through, all the incredible difficulties you went through, the whole life you've lived sorrowful, beat upon, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing. It has not established anything good in you or valuable, not to whoever was in control of this reality. And the next thought was, this is hell. There is a God. Because I just knew this place was the absolute absence of Him. And I felt that God, this is what you have without Him. But when you've got Him, you've got all the other stuff, life and the good stuff. All the life seemed to be so. I realised life was such a gift. Life is such a gift. Life is a gift. I mean, it really is. When you look down the street and look at the sea and stuff like that, you know, you're just borrowing it. You won't have to give it back unless He gives it to you. I mean, anyway, let me get back to the point. I thought there is a God. Now, I'm in black, remember? I'm in just complete black. I've had all different kind of concepts about what God is. God's in the table, God's in the chair, God's you, all that stuff. But what I understood is blackness, never seen anything, never been told anything, just coming to conclusions. I thought, there is a God, and He's the one in the Bible. I just knew it was Him. I knew that although we're also grown up now about how we get spiritual maturity, you know, spirituality and stuff like that, you know, all this stuff, quantum physics and you know, particle observers, you know, observing subatomic particles and you know, all alternative universes, multiverse, wherever. But the God that made it all is the one in that, you know, that black leather Bible. That guy, that's the one. I knew without any The same way I was coming to these conclusions about eternity and about all this stuff about life and deep. He said, it's him, he's God. And it was a super shock to me, because I thought that, you know, oh no, he's just one of the kind of more manifestations of truth in that part of the world, you know, like the Judeo-Christian thing, or Judeo, you know. I just thought, you know, now it's saying, no, it's him, and everything else is trash. It's trash. Everything else is absolutely no value. It was really, really particular. So I'm kind of going, I'm not thinking these thoughts. These thoughts are coming to me. I'm surprised as anyone else would be. So the point is that I do come the next day. I come to. I kind of wake up. You know, I'm okay. But I'm pretty like, you know, whoa, wow, that's really put the frighteners up me. I mean, and I was kind of like just coasting along. I was kind of like, you know, mid-40s, thinking, you know, I've kind of mellowed out. I've grown up, and I thought, I'm not mellowed out now. I've got to get to the bottom of this. I've got to work it out. So I go online, and I've never looked at these things before, but I checked out some, you know, near-death experiences, and I didn't realise, you know, there were people that said I've been to hell. And I'm looking at them, and this is when it started to kind of get to me, because I was to some degree able to still compartmentalise what had happened. I mean, it freaked me out, it was heavy, it was making me think I need to change my life and stuff like that, and it maybe it's something to do with becoming a Christian. I was thinking, I don't know, you know, but you know, the Bible and stuff, I didn't know. But the point is that seeing other people, some of them were like much more graphic, some people were in flames and fire and demons and all, and it was horrendous, but a lot of them did describe similar things to me. Darkness, you knew it was eternity, you knew you were not getting out, you knew you couldn't reach your friends, you know, you couldn't tell your family, you know, you felt like you deserved to be there, all this kind of stuff. And I thought, wow, this is heavy, because it's one thing to have a sort of vision or some kind of experience, especially because drugs are involved, and it's you know, when things are kind of hallucinatory or even like dreams, you know, they have their own they have their own laws to them. I mean, you know, it can be like, you know, you walk down. I was walking down the street, and then I saw a lion, and then it started speaking to me. It wasn't like that. It was uniform with a lot of these people's experiences, and it was pointing to sort of one thing. You know, it was like, there's a God, get right with him, that kind of idea. So the little that I knew, I mean, as much as I read the Bible, like, and dipped into it, I didn't really understand, you know, what Christians do. I didn't really relate the Bible to people who go to church. I thought the Bible has been like the works of Shakespeare. It's a classic book, and you know, it's got deep hidden meanings and all that. And I thought people who go to church probably don't understand much about it. But I kind of felt humbled now, and I felt that, well, they do go to church, and they do read the Bible, and they do live that life. So they are the best people to ask about this, whatever's going on with me. So I think to myself, something had said to me, or something I had picked up from somewhere, was that when you get baptized, then you've become a Christian. So that's what they do, and that means that when Christ died on the cross, you get baptized and it's done, and then you're all saved. That's what I thought. I didn't know any different. That's what I thought. So I thought, well, I'll go to a Baptist church. So I got in touch with the Baptist church. I got in touch with the pastor, and he said, that got back to me, and he said, I said, I want to just get baptized. And he said, well, come and speak to us. So I went to speak to him, and he says, you want to baptize? I said, yeah, just private. I said, just you. I said, just drop me in the water, bring me out, and I'll just say goodbye. He says, well, it didn't really work like that. He says, you know, get baptized because you're recognising that aspects to it, but essentially saying, you know, it's in recognition that you're establishing yourself. You're a Christian. You know, you're a Christian. You're kind of declaring the word of a Christian. I died with Jesus, and I've now been raised with him. Anyway, I'm keeping it for, you know, people who don't know all the ins and outs of that as well. So the point is that I went, oh right, I thought that, oh, it's later up, you know, it's been done, just come to church, get baptized. You become a Christian first, basically, is what he was saying now. Christian. Christian. And immediately, and I think this thought was through a lot of people's heads, you think, what does that look like? And I thought, I don't think many people I know look like that. and I don't think you'd be comfortable with it. You know, like Christian, I thought. I just felt that I'd suddenly become incredibly uncool to anybody that knew me. So basically, so anyway, he says, well, you can go through a prayer. I said, can you go through a prayer? Okay. He says, well, would you say you're a sinner? And I went, yeah, I'm a sinner. Yeah, of course I'm a sinner. I mean, I didn't have any problem with that. I knew as far as like speaking to a Christian, I thought, well, this guy's, I've probably done stuff, I'm assuming I've done a lot of stuff that this guy maybe hasn't done, but he doesn't do. So the point is, hey, I'm a sinner. He says, well, do you believe in Jesus? I says, do you believe Jesus is the Son of God? He says, I think I do now. I think, yeah, I do. Yeah, Jesus, Son of God. So we went through a prayer, and I'm waiting for, some wow factor to happen, and it didn't. It just said the prayer, and then I went home. But when I went home, I started to kind of, over the next week, or it was middle of the week, and he said to me, well, look, try coming to church on Sunday, see what you think. This was during the week, you see. And he says, see what you think. So I'm kind of doing that going, when I'm on my own. I've not told my wife or anybody about this. I've not told anybody about anything, because I'm just kind of like perplexed. So I keep going to my knees whenever there's nobody about and saying to him, dear God, forgive me for my sins, forgive me for this thing that I've done and that thing that I've done and this thing that I've done and that. And I keep going through this list of things that I can think of to try and, something going to happen, I don't know. But I feel very uneasy and more wondered about this idea of become a Christian. When do I become a Christian? So I go to church, and as soon as I get in there, I think, I can't do this. I think, no, because it's just all these kind of like, hi, hi, how you doing? And all these people, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm thinking, I thought, oh no, they're nice, but I'm not that nice. I can't do this. So I come back and I'm more perplexed about what I'm going to do, and I'm not really taking that going to church seriously. And through the week, I'm thinking to myself, go to my knees, praying and trying to confess and stuff like that, sins and things, and I'm just thinking about stuff all the time. It feeds into it as this experience that God is Jesus, is God, and or the Bible and all that stuff's real, and it's all kind of run through my head. So anyway, in the middle of the subsequent week, I'm in the house.
Hope you made the right choice.
And I'm in this little studio room that I've got with musical equipment and stuff like that. And I'm thinking these thoughts again. I'm thinking about them all, and I'm just going through them, and I'm sort of thinking, what's going on? I'm not thinking any particular thought. I'm not asking any particular question. I'm just sort of, and I go from like, say the room's about 10 feet, and I'm sitting at one end of it. I'm suddenly just thrown from that side to the other side, and I'm on my face. And this